1. Rowan Atkinson. Born January 6, 1955. Wow, who could forget the rubber-faced mischief of Mr. Bean in the early 90s? With wild brows, twitchy expressions, and childlike charm, Rowan was a master of silent comedy. Now approaching 70, he's sharper, sleeker, and still commands attention with those alert eyes, less cartoon, more classic British wit wrapped in grace. 2. J.K. Simmons. Born January 9, 1955. Can you believe the tough, balding newspaper editor from Spider-Man 2002 now radiates a silver-toned gravitas at 70? J.K. Simmons' chiseled jawline and steely gaze have only grown more intense. Time didn't soften him, it sculpted him into a force of quiet authority. That baritone voice still cuts like a drumline. 3. Kevin Costner. Born January 18, 1955. Remarkable. From his windswept charm in Dances with Wolves 1990 to his rugged presence in Yellowstone, Costner's transformation is cinematic poetry. The tousled, sun-kissed hero of the 90s has evolved into a weathered icon of American masculinity. Nearing 70, his soulful stare and steady aura remain undeniably magnetic. 4. Charles Shaughnessy. Born February 9, 1955. Remember the refined British gentleman from The Nanny 1993? With coiffed hair, tailored suits, and aristocratic poise, Charles Shaughnessy defined TV sophistication. Today, with soft silver curls and deeper lines of wisdom, he wears time like an heirloom, elegant, timeless, and ever so charming at nearly 70. 5. Jeff Daniels. Born February 19, 1955. From the clean-cut everyman in Terms of Endearment 1983 to the bumbling buddy in Dumb and Dumber 1994, Jeff Daniels always surprised us. Now, with snowy hair and a voice that resonates deeper, he carries a weathered nobility. At 70, his gaze feels more searching, like a storyteller mid-epic. 6. Kelsey Grammar. Born February 21, 1955. From his sleek suited debut in Cheers and Frasier, Grammar's commanding voice and intellectual flair set him apart. Back then, his polished hair and professorial style were unmistakable. Now nearing 70, the silver crown and deeper timbre only amplify his gravitas, like a Shakespearean actor grown into his final act. 7. Gary Sinise. Born March 17, 1955. His breakthrough as L.T. Dan in Forrest Gump 1994 showed raw emotion behind those intense, storm-gray eyes. Sinise, then rugged and wiry, now bears a stoic calm. At 70, with salt and pepper edges and a face etched by service and empathy, he radiates strength refined by time. 8. Bruce Willis. Born March 19, 1955. Yippee-ki-yay! From the smirking, shirt-smeared rebel in Die Hard 1988 to a quieter, more solemn figure today, Bruce's journey is poignant. The once cocky twinkle is now a distant gleam behind weathered eyes. Though his voice may have softened, the icon's silhouette, bald, bold, enduring, remains unforgettable. 9. Lena Olin. Born March 22, 1955. Sensual and mysterious in the unbearable lightness of being 1988, Lena Olin once captivated with feline grace and hypnotic eyes. Now at 70, her beauty is deeper, carved from experience, lined with elegance. Her gaze still burns, but now with the quiet power of a woman who's seen it all. 10. Reba McIntyre. Born March 28, 1955. Wow, that fiery red hair and all-American twang burst onto screens in the 90s sitcom Reba. Her youthful energy radiated through rhinestones and wide smiles. Now at 70, the country queen blends sass with sage. Her voice, strong as ever, carries generations, and her eyes sparkle with fierce joy. 11. Brendan Gleason. Born March 29, 1955. Can you believe the gruff yet soulful hitman from In Bruges was once the fresh-faced Irish giant in The General 1998? Back then, his wild mane and weather-worn charm felt untamed. At 70, the mane is silver, the presence deeper, like an old oak that still commands the forest. 12. Michael Rooker, born April 6, 1955. From The Raw Menace of Henry. Portrait of a Serial Killer 1986 to the gruff space outlaw in Guardians of the Galaxy, Rooker's transformation is wild. Once lean and unpredictable, now broader, grayer, yet still electric. That crooked grin at 70? It still dares you to trust him, or not. 13. Xiao Yanfat, born May 18, 1955. Slick suits, sunglasses, and slow-motion bullets, A Better Tomorrow 1986 made Xiao the epitome of cinematic cool. His youthful sharpness is now softened by wisdom, but that effortless charisma remains. At 70, with silver threads and a dignified air, he's still a walking masterclass in elegance and edge. 14. Richard Schiff, born May 27, 1955. The brooding intellect of the West Wing 1999 wore glasses like armor, hiding eyes that revealed volumes. Back then, Richard's unkempt curls and serious tone made him magnetic. Now, at 70, there's still a furrow in his brow, but it's wiser, less burdened. A thinker's face in cinematic form. 15. Dana Carvey, born June 2, 1955. From wild impressions and Wayne's World to legendary SNL skits, Carvey's elastic face and manic energy defined 90s comedy. Today, the features are softer, the tone gentler, but the twinkle remains. At 70, he's a storyteller, not a joker, still funny, but now wrapped in warmth and wisdom. 16. Sandra Bernhard, born June 6, 1955. Her cutting wit and magnetic presence shook audiences in The King of Comedy 1982. Sandra's androgynous glam and bold stare made her unforgettable. Now at 70, her style is cooler, her voice richer, her gaze still unflinching. She's a flame that didn't dim, it just burns smarter. 17. Griffin Dunn, born June 8, 1955. Remember the frantic charm of After Hours 1985? Griffin was the everyman caught in surreal chaos. With boyish curls and wide, anxious eyes, he was magnetic. Now at 70, those eyes reflect clarity, not confusion. He looks like he's finally in control of the story, and what a story it is. 18. Julie Hagerty, born June 15, 1955. From her hilariously deadpan role in Airplane. 1980, Julie's delicate voice and porcelain features made her instantly iconic. Decades later, the voice is still airy, but the presence is richer. At 70, her expressions carry layers. She's not just funny anymore, she's timelessly fascinating. 19. Laurie Metcalf, born June 16, 1955. Exploding into public memory on Roseanne in the late 80s, Laurie's expressive eyes and kinetic delivery were lightning in a bottle. Now 70, her voice steadied, her face lined with nuance. She commands with less volume but more depth, like a storm that rumbles instead of roars. 20. Willem Dafoe, born July 22, 1955. Unforgettable. Dafoe's haunting debut in Platoon 1986 unveiled a face sculpted by contrast, angular beauty, and unpredictable madness. Now at 70, those contours are starker, the eyes deeper. He's a walking chiaroscuro, light and shadow locked in one unforgettable silhouette. Few wear ages artfully. 21. Billy Bob Thornton, born August 4, 1955. From the eerie stillness of Sling Blade 1996 to the wild antics in Bad Santa, Billy Bob's sunken gaze and sly smirk always hinted at hidden chaos. Now, with silver stubble and a voice like gravel, he's a Southern noir legend, darker, cooler, and sharper at 70. 22. Wayne Knight, born August 7, 1955. Who could forget Newman from Seinfeld or the bumbling tech in Jurassic Park? Back then, Wayne's round features and energetic antics made him comic gold. Now at 70, the edges have softened, the grin wiser, and that voice? still instantly recognizable. He's aged like a sitcom rerun, forever entertaining. 23. Peter Gallagher. Born August 19, 1955. Those eyebrows, thick, expressive, unforgettable, stole the screen in Sex, Lies, and Videotape 1989. Gallagher's matinee idol good looks have matured into statesman-like charm. At 70, the eyes are gentler, but the intensity simmers beneath. He doesn't just enter a room, he owns its stillness. 24. Kevin Dunn. Born August 24, 1956. From nervous executives in Dave 1993 to worn-down dads in countless dramas, Kevin was always the relatable everyman. His soft features and furrowed brows reflected our own worries. Now 70, his presence is calming, his expressions deeper, a face you trust, aged into comfort without losing weight. 25. Whoopi Goldberg. Born November 13, 1955. Wow, what a journey! Whoopi burst into fame with The Color Purple 1985, those soulful eyes and magnetic dreadlocks defining a generation. Now 70, she's regal, wrapped in wisdom and wit. The laugh is deeper, the gaze more piercing. A cultural oracle cloaked in black-rimmed glasses and decades of impact. 26. Howie Mandel. Born November 29, 1955. From curly-haired chaos in St. Elsewhere in 1982 to the polished host of Deal or No Deal, Howie's transformation is striking. Once goofy and wild-eyed, now bald and stylishly clean-cut, he brings poise to unpredictability. At 70, he's rebranded comedy into clarity and still wins with a smile. 27. Xander Barker. Born December 16, 1955. He slipped into our screens with roles in Terminator 2 and Air Force One, always the suspicious man in the corner. His lean build and sharp features made him unforgettable. At 70, silver edges and gravitas sharpened his intensity. That stare, still unnerving, still unforgettable. 28. Jane Kaczmarek. Born December 21, 1955. Exploding with comedic fire as the fierce mom in Malcolm in the middle 2000s, Jane's expressive face and powerful voice were pure dynamite. Now 70, her look is softer, her delivery more deliberate, but that fire hasn't faded. She's the calm flame that still lights up a room. 29. Sheryl Lee Ralph. Born December 30, 1955. From Dreamgirls to Abbott Elementary, Cheryl's beauty always shimmered with dignity. Those radiant cheekbones and rich voice are still her signature. Now at 70, she glows from within, elegance personified. She hasn't aged out of glamour. She's elevated it into something spiritual, iconic, and proudly black. 30. Jimmy Smits. Born July 9, 1955. Can you believe the fresh-faced lawyer from LA? Law 1986 now moves with quiet power at 70? Back then, his tousled hair and intense gaze melted screens. Today, with salt-gray temples and a noble calm, Smits still burns with star quality, just slower, deeper, and endlessly captivating.